Ooh. Hello, hello. Welcome to Sex on the Bridge. Yes, with me, Carlene, the original dancehall queen, bringing to you your weekly dose of grown, sexy radio content. You heard me, sexy. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'm wearing my red and white and my cap says love. I'm representing for all the lovers out there. And remember, love is not only for partners, it's not just for a man and a woman, it's for your children, your family, your friends. Good night, Ryan. Good night. Yeah, it's Valentine's Day is for you to spend. We shouldn't have one day, but as human beings, we sometimes need one day to remind us to love each other. And so for this, I love February the 14th. I do. Shibada Keith Ramsey, happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, I heard man problem was a big problem. Mm-hmm. But we talk about that tomorrow, Shabbat. We'll talk about that. All right. So of course, I hope you're all winding down from drinking, eating the chocolates, the candy, and a lot of sex. Although some people won't be having the sex till probably later. I don't know. Well, anyways, I hope you're winding down so you can, start to listen to me now. Get ready to listen to The Bridge 99 FM with Sex on the Bridge with me to talk about a different kind of love, a different kind of situation that sometimes love, play a part of or in. But as usual, guys, you know the rules. If you're under 18 years old, please toddle your little self off to your bed. Go change your pampers, something. Drink some water and go to your bed. Mommy and daddy and the rest of the family will tell you the parts you need to know, but you're not going to listen to me and learn from me just yet. I'll wait till you're 18 and then you come back. All right, the bridge will be here. So will I. So we're going to get into some different kind of thing tonight. Tonight we're focusing on love. What's the difference with somebody being ill or not being ill? But the people talk about, oh no, me not go there with a man if him have one foot. It's different from somebody who has a heart condition or even cancer. How do we deal with it? So we're going to learn from some of my guests tonight, but I'm not telling you who they are yet. You're going to find out who they are, but sometimes people need to be a little more sensitive. Not just lovers, guys. It also affects family. It affects friends. Yes, the way we deal with news, the way we know of things happening to, people. And sometimes we're thinking, oh, no. Some can't do that, or, yes, I can. I had to deal with this in the last 2 years with my sister. It wasn't easy because, I've heard of cancer. I've heard of people having cancer, but no one close to me. So when it hit home, as they say, I got to understand the disease because I started to read up on it, going a little more in depth in how to help her and help myself. And so sometimes we tend to think we know what people are going through. I assume you know what people are going through, but really and truly until it's in your space, you really don't. Because I did not know it would affect me and my family and friends the way it has. Right? But we learn a little more about it. And as always, to be a part of the show, 876 551 5782. You can send a voicemail to be a part of the show without being a part of the show. Send your question, your answers, or just saying hello to my panel or myself. And you can call in to also be a part of the show. 876 676 4996. Go back to the topic, of course. Oh, what my topic is again? Okay, right. So love through sickness and health. So it's not that do us part. It's love through sickness and health, right? We're going to understand the different parts of how people go through when they hear something, or even if they were born with something wrong. Because it's one thing to know from day one that I have this. Then another day you just hear that, oh, my heart isn't good anymore, or I have cancer, and any other ailment, diabetes, hypertension, blindness, impotent. What does what women have when they're impotent? What do we have when we no longer have a sex drive? Or we have a sex drive, but we don't have those problems. Yeah, we're always our legs open, so that's all right. Yeah, a man needs. We don't have that problem. Right to the women. You see? All right, in studio with me tonight, I'm gonna introduce my guest. First, I have right next to me my beautiful sister Pinky.
Hello. Good night.
And over on the right of her, right, yeah, I have Abigail.
Hi.
And in the far corner, we have the support system, Keisha. No, it's Keisha what again?
Keisha experience was not just Keisha this, Keisha that.
Yeah, Keisha this, Keisha that,
Yeah.
right? So we have Pinky Lou and we have Abby. What's your fun name?
Everyone calls me Abs. That's just that.
Abs. All right, see?
Yeah.
Everybody. And I'm Dancehall Queen Carlene, by the way. So tonight we're going to, have a little different show. Although it's Valentine's Day, because it's not finished yet. Poor Abigail never get the memo, so for coming at the red and white. It's all right. We'll bring you back. We'll bring you back next time. But as always, trying to understand how people cope, what makes their lives different after knowing or being diagnosed with an illness. How does it affects their relationship? How does it affects their sex life? How does it affects their daily life? Sometimes we assume again how somebody might look and thinking they're okay. Or they look sick and we think they're sick when really they're not. So sometimes we can't just judge people by appearance. Like I saw a very skinny girl, when I tell you very skinny, nothing was wrong with her. I assumed she was sick because she was so skinny. But really and truly, that's just who she is. But if you know somebody like my sister, who went from 165 to 93 pounds, you see the difference. You understand the difference. We knew because, we were going through the journey with her. But for somebody who, like looking at her now, she's now 141 pounds. Yeah. But looking at her at 141 pounds, if you know her, you know that's not her usual weight or look. So, sometimes somebody went from 93 to 141. You're so happy. You're so glad. And somebody see her, or people see her and tell her, oh, you get some maga. They don't understand that she's coming from 93 pounds. Yeah, so sometimes, we have to be careful how we look at people and assume things or just tell them that, we see something, you can't just assume. You have to sometimes ask if you're not certain, or shut up. Just happy to see the person. Don't give them views, because that can hurt them.
Yeah.
That can tear them down. That can be a problem throughout the rest of the day for them. Because here is it, she might be thinking, oh, I look so good coming from where I'm coming from. And you come, Lord God, your maga look so bad.
Deflator.
So sometimes people, be kind. And if you're not certain, shut up. It's sometimes not even your business. So just happy to see people when you do, because you don't know what they're going through. All right. Why, this is a little, fun, touchy topic. My guests tonight have their own stories, and they'll take you through the journeys. And of course, as I said the numbers before, I'll say them again. You can call in to be a part of the show, or send me a voice note to be a part of the show. The voice note is 876-551-5782, or call in 876-676-4996. All right, I'm going to start with Abigail.
Okay.
Reason being, I I don't know much about you. I know your situation because we do the research. But how were you first told you have a heart problem?
Well, I was having signs and symptoms since I was 7. And
All right, what signs and symptoms? Just so somebody else can learn
Mhm.
if they see this.
So I'd get tired very easily. My heart would be racing all the time. I'd have severe chest pains. I'd have shortness of breath, and I'd feel dizzy sometimes.
At 7.
Yeah. So my symptoms continued throughout the years. When I was in grade 3, when I first noticed it, I was playing at lunchtime, little pitney run up and down lunchtime, came in after lunch finished, and when everyone was rested and calmed down, my heart was still racing. So I went to my teacher and I said, "Miss, my heart is racing." And she put her hand on my chest and she said, "This doesn't feel right." So she wrote a note to my mom and sent it home with me after school, and I took it to my mom. She took me to a doctor the next day. That doctor sent me to another doctor, who sent me to another doctor. And that specialist we saw last said, he just listened to my heartbeat and said, "Nothing is wrong with me, I'm fine." So I believed it. I thought I was fine. Symptoms continued.
And you're happy to hear that.
Yeah, I was happy. Symptoms continued throughout the years. I remember in grade 6, it got worse, and I went to a doctor, and he diagnosed me with severe anxiety disorder. He says it's anxiety, that's why my heart is always racing and all that. So I said, okay, all right, fine. My mom ended up dying. Turned out it was from heart disease. So I said, okay,
What age were you?
My mom died when I was 9, going to 10. Yeah. And my symptoms continued. And by the time I left high school and I got to community college.
Hold on. So throughout this time, they don't know what's wrong with you?
No. So all this time I was walking around being hyperactive, playing, dancing, because I was a dancer back then. I wanted to become a dancer so bad. And all that time I could have died, And when I got to community college one day, I was going to school. Well, from the day before, I was having severe chest pains to the point where whenever I inhaled, I felt a sharp pain. And I said it to my cousin, and he said, "No, do you man a gas, drink some tea."
Jamaican.
Carlene, I drink tea go, I drink tea come, belch off the so-called gas off of my stomach. The pain continued the same way. The next day I was going to school, and the pain got so bad I almost passed out. I was walking and I was having trouble breathing, and I was crying. And a taxi was driving past and said, "What happened to you? Why you look so?" And I said, "Take me to the hospital, please." And he took me to the hospital, and I was running through the hall of the hospital, ripping my blouse open because I couldn't breathe. And a nurse checked me, and when she checked my blood pressure the first time, she called another nurse and said, "This look right?" And the nurse said that my blood pressure was so high it could have burst a blood vessel in my head. So they gave me meds, injection, whatever, sent me home.
They sent you home?
Yeah. I was continuing my life, going about my business until...
Hold on, what age was this?
This, I was about 17, 18.
So still don't know you have
Still don't know. And then now, one day, the pain got really bad, and I was struggling to breathe. And I called a doctor friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, I really think I have heart disease. What's the first step in getting this sorted out?" And he said, "Come to me and we do an ECG." And we did the ECG.
All right. Hold that ECG. We're going to take a break. Go nowhere. We'll hear back from her when we come right back. I want to sometimes love. All right, we were talking to Abigail, who has a heart defect. She'll tell you more. You just got the ECG?
Yeah, so we did the ECG, and it showed that I have an abnormal heart rhythm. My heartbeat is irregular. So for further interrogation, he referred me to KPH, and KPH sent me over to UA. And from 2011 to 2012, I was basically a lab rat. I was doing heart tests every week, every other week, until the day came when the doctor said, okay. Well, the very first test I did, as a matter of fact, the doctor looked me dead in the eyes, and she said, "You have the same heart condition that killed your mother."
Wow.
And when she said that, it's like time stood still. The tears just come same time. And a cousin of mine was there with me, and she said, Don't worry, don't cry, everything is going to be all right. You knew from day one that something was wrong. We'll get to the bottom of it. And we continued doing more tests and more tests to ensure that we got to the bottom of it. The doctor even tried me with asthma pumps to see if I had underlying asthma. She tried me with different medication. They didn't work until she sought a second opinion from a senior cardiologist, and he said that he thinks I'm fine. It's just stress. So I'm saying, me stress out from being a grade 3 till me at 19. This sounds off. And then the doctor did more tests and went to another doctor, another cardiologist, and he said, based on what I'm seeing, the next time your heart races, you can die. You have a heart condition called arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia.
Okay.
Basically, the right side of my heart is severely diseased. The ventricle doesn't work as it should. The ventricular wall is thinner than it should be. I have 2 leaking valves. My heart is slightly enlarged. And the major thing is that my heart races fast and irregular to the point where it can send me to cardiac arrest at any time. So once my heart races, I can go into cardiac arrest just like that and just die. So he says to treat this, you need an implantable cardioverter defibrillator in your chest or a battery.
And what is that to do? Just for the listeners who don't know.
So what this battery does is it monitors my every heartbeat. And once it detects that my heart is beating too fast, it shocks my heart to slow it down so I don't go into cardiac arrest. And those shocks, whenever my heart is racing above a certain level, it shocks me so bad that it feels like a horse kicking me in my chest. And if I'm getting shocked and you touch me, it will shock you too. It's that powerful. I hate it. It's very uncomfortable, but it does what it's supposed to do. It has saved me twice before. It literally has saved my life twice before. It has saved me from cardiac arrest 2 times before. So now this battery is in my chest. It sits just below my collarbone, and there's a long wire that runs from there all the way down into my heart. Yeah.
Wow. All right. I think I need a hot. Wow. I mean, you see what not knowing something can do? Because at no point did you think you had a heart problem. And at 7, you recognized that something was wrong. But there was no doctor to help you through to understand. Luckily, you didn't become an athlete.
And I actually joined the track and field team in high school because I was very tall and skinny. So they say, yeah, man, you can do a high jump or a long jump or whatever. And I joined the team. And I think God worked it out. I got injured. I tore my groin and I couldn't walk. And I just quit after that. I think that was God saying, hey, don't even think about it.
Yeah, because you'd probably drop dead on the field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they don't know because they didn't know you had a heart problem.
Exactly.
Wow. Same question for Pinky. How did you know you have cancer?
Well, I've been to the doctor, going on a visit, a regular visit all the time. And when I go, more than 1 time I go. And when I go, next time now, they do check up, do everything they do. And when they call me back in about like 2 weeks' time. And the doctor said, I need to come in. And when them said that to me, I said, boy, I wonder what it's now. I'm start fret. And when I reach, doctor said to me, say, bad news. So I turned to him and I said, what kind of bad news, doc? I don't understand bad news. Him say, I have stage 4.
No, stage 2 first.
Stage 2 first, then when we go, him tell me I have stage 4. And I do the chemo, everything with stage 2. I do
All right.
everything.
So she's going fast. So she went first, did a test on her breast. That they said they saw a little lump.
Lump, yeah.
And they wanted to just do some more tests. They did the test, said, okay, they found this lump and it was cancerous, but they're going to do radiation to burn it out, right?
Yeah.
Because
It's
at this
stage 2.
point, it's nowhere. It's just right there.
Yeah, and then after I do all of that now, them call me and tell me, say, it's stage 2. Then,
And this was done in 2020,
yes.
and then they called her back in 2022.
After all me do now, I do the chemo, everything with the stage 2. I do everything them say can
No, so she did the first stage, she did the chemo,
The chemo,
and when she go back for
do a
some
lot of other
tests,
stuff.
mm-hmm,
And when I go back now, I finish do everything them want me to do. When I go back now and put me through the machine, everything, little after them call me to they say,
Come.
stage 4. It reach a stage 4. So I turn to the doctor and say, I not take no more chemo, I don't want nothing more, because if I go through this at stage 2, I'm do everything I say to do, and it not help me. So it don't make no sense me take no more, because it not gonna be no better. And it do me real bad.
and then
real bad.
they recommend you still to do the radiation.
And then I do the radiation. And when I do the radiation,
Got worse.
it bring me down bad. I couldn't believe on me when I look in the mirror. I used to don't look in the mirror no more. Because I said to God, say, God, I don't know. And my friend said, just pray more hard. I'm pray kneel down and pray night time and talk to God. And thank God for my friends, them and my family. Them, they there with me right through. A night time on the phone, who they in Jamaica and who close to me. And build up my hopes, you know.
All right. So it's important in one aspect of it to get your test done. But before we come back to talk back to Pinky and Abigail, we're going to take another break. Welcome back to Sex on the Bridge with me, Carlene, the original dancehall queen. And in studio with me is my beautiful sister Pinky, who's living with stage 4 cancer, and Abigail, who's living with a heart disease for over 10 years. And of course, we have Keisha this, Keisha that, and we hear whatnot. All right. Want to go back to Pinky. Tell us, who were you before cancer? How you was?
I was very happy, busy, up and down, go to parties.
I'm if I tell you.
And do a lot of stuff, you know.
Can't
Enjoy
keep still.
myself, but now that I'm sick,
All
I
right.
don't get to do a lot of stuff like what I used
How
to
is
do.
life different for you now?
Way different.
How?
Like it slow me down, I don't really do a lot of things like I used to do before.
You don't work anymore?
I don't work anymore, I don't go anywhere. I just stay home and just try to rest and give God thanks. You know?
What you used to do for fun?
Go parties. Sometimes me pass through 1 and 2 church. And sometimes go casino. And you know, me and my friend hang out.
And your man?
I'm a baby. You know?
How is that now that you're sick?
Well, to be honest, my nature gone. It burn out. Chemo take it, radiation take it. So I don't really have the feelings I like before. But him still call me and tell me to take care of myself. But with the sex part, no, it dead. That gone.
Abigail, I want to ask you too, how is life after knowing? What was life before for you?
Before,
Yeah.
I was very hyperactive, always dancing up and down. Like, I couldn't keep still. I did busybody bad. As I say, I wanted to become a dancer, so I'm always a dance. And yeah, that was me. Just a very hyperactive person, carefree, actually.
How are you now?
No, I am limited in so many ways. I can't be as active as I used to be. I can't run. I can't dance. I can't exercise like the normal person. Even having sex is a risk. So I'm limited in so many ways physically.
That's true.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who don't understand what you're saying?
It's complicated. It's not easy. I mean, people see me and they think I look normal, but I'm really not. And it's a very difficult thing to live with, but I try. I don't want to die. I'm not ready. So I every day you see me up and about, I am fighting to survive, literally. Yeah.
Wow, and that is in itself, it's draining.
It is.
what do you mean by sex is a risk?
All right. So remember earlier I said that when a symptom of my heart disease is that my heart races too fast. And whenever my heart races too fast, the battery has to shock my heart to calm it down so I don't go into cardiac arrest.
So getting
So-
excited in
So
sex
during sex, the heart rate goes up.
naturally.
Yeah, and if the heart rate goes up, then the battery can shock me and my partner while we're doing the do, which can be very uncomfortable. Luckily, I
And
haven't
frightening.
Luckily, I haven't been shocked during that time because I have to pace myself. I actually wear a heart rate monitor watch all the time. So while I'm doing the do, sometimes I even put my hand on my chest while I'm doing the do to see how my heart is beating. And I'll say, all right, let's slow down a little bit. Yeah, and that is just not
So,
cool.
Hold on. An orgasm is going to make your heart go up. So you prevent having one?
No, but after that, I'm tired like dog. I'm breathing so heavily. But luckily, I'm on medication as well to help keep my heart rate slow. So I ensure that my meds are fresh in my system each time before I do the do, because getting shocked during that time, it wouldn't be fun.
Anybody ever get shocked from it?
Yeah, the first time I was getting shocked, I was dizzy. So I had to lean down on my brother, and when it shocked me, it ran through my body.
All right, so here it is now. You have a steady boyfriend or a boyfriend?
Yes, I do.
How does that relate to you? I mean, you relate to them going forward.
All right,
So, a man are looking at you.
yeah. All right, so before my current partner, we've been together for 6 years. But
Oh.
before him, one guy told me him no want a sicky woman.
No.
Yeah, him tell me plain and straight, him no want a sicky woman because it a go cost him in the future and rate blah blah blah. This other guy, we were dating for a little while, and there was an incident where I got shocked at UA in the middle of the people in carnival. And I had to go to the hospital at midnight to go see my doctor. And I think that scared him. After that, Link just dead after that. So I think that scared him. Yeah, but my current partner is a very sweet and understanding guy. Thank God.
Because there's somebody for every. How did you tell him? Because, do you tell them before you get into a relationship?
Yes, I do that. So with my current partner, when we met and we started texting, I told him the full brunt of everything, all my conditions, including the heart one. And he took it very well. He actually wanted to know more. He asked so many questions, wanted to know everything. He found it interesting. And to date, he says my story and just me in general going day to day inspires him and is a source of motivation for him.
Wow.
Yeah. There were
So-
challenges though.
Yes, give me some of them.
For one, the heart medication that I'm on has a lot of side effects. I cannot do without it, but it has a lot of side effects. And one of the side effects is it affects my sex drive. And at one point,
Hold on, what? Lower it, higher it, what?
it lowers it, like it
Oh.
take on my sex drive. Like I never have none, zero.
Oh.
Like
How old are you if you don't mind?
I'm 30, no.
Okay.
And it got so bad, Carlene, like me never have no, like nothing at all was there, nothing, dry up, nothing. Nature gone. And it got it got so bad to the point where I said, listen, I am giving you permission to have sex with other people because I cannot satisfy you, and it's unfair to ask you to just sit down and just not get nothing. So and as a woman, I can't look at my man and tell him to use him hand every day. That's So I gave him the permission to have sex with other people for satisfaction, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Because he had plans for you and he knows down the line, although you said this, it would come back to haunt him.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do it though. He didn't
Or
do
he
it.
didn't tell you.
He didn't do it. No, we have that type of relationship where we tell each other everything. So if he
Forgot shock your heart.
no, that wouldn't happen. Because I already conditioned my mind. Say, yeah, I'm giving my man permission to have sex with other people under the condition that you tell me a who and you're not catching no feelings. Just Just do your thing. Yeah, but he didn't do it though.
because because he understand that what you're saying don't is not true. You're just trying to please him
Yeah.
by saying, it's unfair, but he knows you didn't mean that. Because having sex with somebody, you can't tell if them are gonna catch feelings.
Well, that's true.
You understand? And
Yeah.
he loves you and want to be with you. So he knows, listen, if he's not going to tell you, first of all, him know why your heart race. For nothing go shock you know.
Take time with you.
Yeah.
Just take time with you, that's all.
Yeah.
Have
You
you...
go slower.
No, we ain't come. No matter you take time. Your heart can race. That
It connect with the heart.
Come from up, so come down the same. So
Yeah.
like a jerk.
But curious, right?
Yeah.
How do you navigate not getting excited to the point where now I'm butting in your life? It's just for somebody to understand what you as a young woman and a human being go through where sex is even limited.
All right, so with the sex part, I've learned to pace myself, so I know when to go hard, when to take time, I've learned to manage my breathing, do breathing exercises. And as I said, I'm on medication to help with that. So whenever I know I'm going to do, I ensure that I take my medication to help keep my heart rate low. Yeah, as it relates to getting excited, otherwise, I just have to try hard to contain myself, honestly.
Do you want children?
Um,
Should you have children?
yeah, I can have children, but my doctor said if I want kids, I should have been doing that from 2016. And even now that I'm 30, he says, well, all my doctors agree that I should try to have a child before I'm 33 if I want to have a child. A part of me wants to have a child, but part of me afraid bad. So I don't know.
Because
Honestly.
you would be a very high risk.
Yeah, very high risk. And with another thing about my heart condition is that it's rare. Not a lot of people have it, and it's also progressive, which means as I get older, it's going to get worse. And now that I'm 30, now is the time when I'll have to go to the doctor more often, do tests more often, and all of that, because now that I'm 30, my doctor says this is the age when deterioration may kick in, as in now is the time when my heart may start to deteriorate faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just a walking time bomb.
Yes, I am, but walking time bomb on faith and hope.
You have to. I was going to ask you what keeps you, what makes you, and what sustain you. But before I do that, we're going to take another break. And we'll be back. Sex on the Bridge. It's Valentine's Day. Again, happy Valentine's Day to all my listeners, viewers, lovers, friends, family, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. And of course, my guest today, Pinky, my sister, living with stage 4 cancer, and Abigail, living with heart disease for over 10 years. You were telling me something just as we went to the break.
Oh, about the sex part? Yeah, so sex is a big risk for me. I'm not having kids is such a huge risk. I'd want to have a child, but a part of me is scared. So I'm not sure. They say I shouldn't pass 33, but depending on how my heart is and how my heart performs for the next 2 to 3 years, or hopefully God will just bust me upon a twin when I'm 34 and just call it a day.
But is this something you inherited from your mother?
Yes, I got it from her. It's genetic.
It's genetic. So is it possible that you could give it to your kids?
Yes, that's a risk as well. I don't want to do that to an innocent child, because I've been through hell. I have been through hell. Between 2012 and 2019, I did 5 surgeries.
Can you let me see where you have?
Sure. It's right here.
Can you zoom to her? What's this?
So this is my implantable cardioverter defibrillator, or in layman's term, my battery.
Right.
So it's implanted right here.
Hold on. If you're watching this stream, you can see, but if you're listening, she's describing to you what she has in her chest. Tell me again.
Yeah, so it's my implantable cardioverter defibrillator, or ICD for short, or in layman's term, a battery. So it's this big metal, it's a titanium device, and it sits just under my collarbone, and the wire runs across my chest down into my heart. So even after each surgery, I can't pressure my left hand, I can't push or pull anything heavy. So that is why to date my left hand is extremely weaker than my right hand.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long is the process in you healing to, you know, kind of go back to being normal?
Each time I do a surgery, I'm out for weeks at a time. Yeah, recovery takes a while, especially using my left hand again. And then the first surgery was the roughest, because after that first surgery, my lungs had collapsed and they had to cut me and give me a chest tube and all that jazz.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so recovery always takes a while.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
How you afford to do this?
Assistance from family. My very first surgery, I got assistance from the Ministry of Health, because the device, I got it on a special price for $15,500 but the regular price is like $30,000. So I got assistance with that first one. All my surgeries after that, hospital fees were out of pocket. And then in 2019, the first battery that I had in started malfunctioning out of the blue. So luckily it was on warranty and the malfunction wasn't my fault. So I got a new one, this new one, free from the company overseas that makes it, and then hospital fee was out of pocket. But in 4 years, I'll have to find like $30,000 to get a new one, because it has a lifespan.
Okay. And this is part of you being alive.
Exactly. I can't
Wow.
live without it.
All right. Pinky, how is sex for you now? You tell we say your nature dead?
As I say, it's dead. It's burnout. The radiation burnt everything on the chemo. I have no nature. I'm not interested right now. I just try pray to God and live right.
So you've
and
not had sex since you've been diagnosed?
Not at all. My nature dead. So how much must I have sex? It's dead.
I just want them know. I know.
Yeah,
but
dead. So nobody even try look me, because it not going to work. You understand?
So you wouldn't want to go on a date?
No, not at all. I don't have that feelings that run out on my body. It's not there anymore.
Does that bother you?
Of course, it bother me. Cause I like them little back it up and sit down pan, and sometimes I do mama and papa. Kind of get old, you have to be careful, as you say, with the heart problem. Me have to be careful too. So I can't do none of that right now. None. Not even sit down pan, nothing.
Not even mama and papa?
No, but me give God thanks me alive. And thanks for all of the people who wish me well. And my close friends and my family, everybody.
All right, so you also had to put a thing in you for treatment, right?
Yes, the port, that's when I'm getting treatment, them use it, put it in. That's enough to jerk up my vein, so I put the port in. I have it in now.
Does it affect you at all?
No.
Oh, it don't hurt or anything?
No, once we don't let a lot of water get in it or bounce it up or nothing.
Okay. So is that part of why you're scared to be with a partner?
No, my nature burn out. I don't have any nature. The port now have nothing to do with no nature, nothing. Everything gone. Me not no feelings. Don't you so no, I'm not jump no more. Nothing now jump, nothing.
So would you want to be with somebody without the sex? Just companionship?
I don't think no man want that. No man now have you no want dugu. Them all want dugu, so it makes sense somebody have nobody.
So that's part of why you broke off with your relationship?
Yes. It makes no sense.
It's you who broke the relationship, not him, right?
Me.
Yeah.
Cause my nature did everything gone, so it just cut.
You didn't like how you look or anything?
I don't like how I look. I look like an alien, so at that time, and I just feel down and just feel like I don't want to sin about the man. I just feel like just stay by myself.
How has this changed your life with family and friends?
it make we get closer.
Or first, how did you tell your family and friends? How did you say,
I never did want to tell nobody, to be honest.
I know.
When the doctor tell me about the stage 4, not even the 2, like the stage 4, it gone to 4, I frightened till I nearly whatever. And I turned to the doctor and I said, Doc, I can't talk no more. They explain nothing to me because all the way I tell me say it don't make no sense. And I said, see my sister number here, call her. And I called my sister Corona and I tell her she was crying. And then I'm fretting now, I don't want to tell you, Carlene. I don't want to tell Lauren, I don't want to tell Keisha, I don't want to tell none of my friends them. But me they have to come out with it anyway.
Why you felt like you had to tell them?
Cause I tell one and then one I go tell somebody else and then I go say, oh,
Why
Pinky
you
not
want
let
to
me know. So I just tell them and every time I tell them cry. My heart rate, then I end up back in the hospital and I stress out. So I don't bother tell some of them because I know them are going to cry. So that's it.
And how has your family and friends been since you've had cancer?
They're more loving to me, closer. And my friends, them and some friends that I don't see for about 20 odd years, them find me. And everybody just, I never know so much people love me. People I don't even know. But God is good, And I pray a lot. I used to pray, but I pray more harder now. I pray like the African them now. 3 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day. Because God is good. If I never God, I wouldn't be here. I'm a family and people wish me well. And the church sister, them pray for me,
And how do you feel? I mean, yes, you have cancer. Is that feeling of wanting to live still there?
Yes, I want to live.
And
As
you know
long as
you're
I
going
can
to.
live. And I know I'm going to live. For what I got through and see how I did look and couldn't walk, couldn't do anything.
And had to get blood.
I had to get blood, and every time them give me blood, I put up the blood and I said, Dear Lord, bless this blood. I hope when I finish taking it, I don't get mad in here. Because through them say when they get blood, sometimes people get mad. And then my ear, they don't pick out already, so I won't even say, it I go pick it out. But I pray upon everything I get, and God is good. I have faith, I believe in a God. I'm a friends, family, and people who don't know me wish me well. God bless you and thank you.
And your view, the will to live.
Before diagnosis, I was just this carefree person. It's neither here nor there for me. It's whatever. No.
Young and free.
Yeah, young and free. No, going through all I went through, 5 surgeries, having lungs collapsed, having my body rejecting the device. Like at one point, the battery did up. My body was pushing the battery out of my body. Like the battery was tearing my skin to exit my body. Go through all of that. Having mesh that's inside boring my skin, having battery malfunction, having to stop from work and school and not being able to do anything. Like, no, my faith is stronger. My will to live, just stand up strong and say, hey, Simea, I am not ready to leave this world, so I'm fighting every day to live. Is it something I got dead, Either the heart disease or me. I'm not depend on the losing thing. So at the heart disease, at the disease are going at me. We're going to thump it out to the end. Exactly.
May I run it out like you said, Bolt?
Yeah, it has to go.
It have to go.
Yeah, my will to live keeps me going. And I know I have a purpose to fulfill, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose.
Do you have support from friends and family?
Oh, Lord, yes. Yes, I have a strong support system, a very strong. My family and my friends, oh God, as Pinky said, I never know so much people love me. Even strangers on social media message me, check on me often, they pray for me, all that. So I am grateful for that, because living with any illness at all is not something that you want to go through alone.
How did you tell your friends? Did you lose any or gain any?
I'd say I gained friends, especially because my story is a unique one, and a lot of people say it inspires and motivates them. So I've gained a lot of friends. I can't say I've lost any friends. Yeah, and how I told them that, I just tell them, say, yo, say, doctor said me have a rare heart disease that can kill me anytime. Yeah, that's exactly how I said it. And they're like, Lord, you just say it. So I say, how am I say it? Am I cry? I'm not gonna cry.
No, break it down in pieces, don't push me too hard, my heart,
Well, yeah, I tell them that. So I say, you can't hackle up my body, you cannot stress me out
Not
and all
here.
these things. Yeah, so that's how I told them, and that's how I told my family too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Boy, people assume things,
Mhm.
take things for granted. We who have a heart, run with it, just, you never know, as I say, something till you don't have it.
Mhm.
Because I'm certain your heart has become a different meaning to you the minute you found out that it wasn't the way you thought it was.
Mhm.
We're going to take a break again. We'll be right back. Sex on the Bridge. Welcome back to Sex on the Bridge with me, dancehall queen Carlene. And if you want to be a part of the show, send me a voice note, 876-551-5782, or call in 876-676-4996. So I'm going to introduce to you my panel again. I have Pinky, my sister, stage 4 cancer survivor. I have Abigail, yes, 10 years heart disease survivor. And now we have Keisha, this, Keisha, that, because she mix up in every whatnot. So, good night, Keisha.
Good
so,
night.
Keisha is family friend and very close family friend to Pinky. Ride and die, go and come, good and
Up
bad,
and down.
up and down, side and wide. Yeah. Good night, Keisha.
Good
Welcome.
night.
All right, the question was, how did you hear about Pinky's cancer?
2020, 2019. No, she did when she went to do the mammogram in 2020, and she got the first result when they found the lump and things. She said, the doctor said, "Oh, yes, it's something, but it's not. No, I cannot be treated." So they did a small radiation.
It can be treated.
Yeah, it can be treated, and we were good. It was done. And she was happy. She got back the letter saying there's no more cancer, and we start live everyday life. We're gonna be at Christmas time, go sell and throat and excitement, and we are live. 2020, here comes pandemic. She went back to New York. I drove her to the airport the first of January 2020. Routine check, everything was okay. The routine check, the mammogram after that one is when they found it again and said it's stage 2, which she never tell me. You call me first and say Pinky's gonna call you. And when she called the night,
No, Pinky never tell me nothing. My sister,
Corona tell it, yeah. And he say, Pinky, I'll call you. I'm start ball. I'm call you. No, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm a ball. I'm calling and I say, stop. You kept on saying stop. But it's like, I felt something was wrong, but I didn't know to the extent. Now when she called me, I say, Keisha, the doctor them said, I'm a holy because I don't want to cry in front of her. When I go up with her for the phone and she tell me, she say, Pink, everything I got all right. And yeah, I'm still, my emotional bad, everybody know that. So the tears came and she said, Keisha, don't cry. I said, no, mama, don't cry. She said, go on do it, and I'm going to call you back. Me ask me hang up the phone with Pinky, me call you.
Yes.
And my breakdown, it was
Yeah,
horrible. My breakdown totally, because I say, oh, why good things happen to good people, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I knew. Yeah.
And when you got the news on the second stage
Lord.
of stage 4,
All right. When we found out she had the stage 2, I mean, we had cancer. We have cancer, all of us, because chemo is we do chemo together.
yes, on
We
the
do
phone.
radiation together.
Mhm.
We do blood transfusion together. We do hospital together. Because this is our routine. When it's chemo there, everybody wake up. We know she be there from 8, whatever. We wake up at 9.
Lorraine.
And 6 people to a WhatsApp call. Me, Ayana, Lorraine, Carlene,
Pinky.
and Pinky. Sometimes we add other people like, who would think, but it's always that set. Corona, Carlene, Keisha, Ayana, Lorraine, and Pinky. And that was our thing. So we went through that. On November 9th, which was my birthday, for some reason, when we did the show before, the night before I was here, and for some reason I was depressed, I was down, I was in bed. This is my birthday when I'm always excited about birthday, because I'm big on birthdays. And I just couldn't come out of the bed the whole day, I'm in the bed. My son and my nephew was outside, them a jerk or them a, whatever them a do on the grill. Carlene was coming over because she was bringing me a cake. I was like, Carlene, I said, I'm in my bed, something just not right. I call her now, because I said she don't normally call by now, because our doctor's visits are like, normally like 10 to 1 o'clock the latest. That's when she's not having treatment. So I didn't get the call, and I called her and she said, I can't talk to you right now, she are crying. Of course, I jump on the phone, I call Carlene. Then we hook up Lorraine. So Lorraine, something alright. I just feel it and something alright. Then I know, and she go home. No, Corona went together, she went home. And she said, Keisha, the doctor them said me have stage 4. This bug we out. I remember when Carlene came, we had tried to eat the food, and then Carlene started bawl, and it was, and Carlene don't cry like that, you know? Like 3 times in my life, I see her cry. It was just horrible, and it affect us just like it affected her. It's like, how do you live your everyday life knowing, say, the person you love so much, I go through all of this, is that we went through it, we couldn't feel the physical things, but it affected us big time. Big time. It's horrible.
And then we had to watch her.
Yeah. Go from
Pinky
this
Lou
vibey person way up and down,
to
and we go
93
the bar,
pounds.
10 barrel of packer, we go Christmas, go maybe a Christmas go shop, go sell, and we go up and down and farm out, and we drive all boat, and I saw the person I love go from being who she was to something I didn't recognize, and that took a toll on me big time. You know? But again, you have to put on the face and put on your big girl panty and suck it up for her if it don't make you feel like what she got through are the worst thing ever. So we had to do that, and that was not easy. So basically, like I say, we all had cancer. We all were having treatment. We all were doing chemo. We all got through it. So what affected her initially affected us, you know, so yeah.
Yes, it did, and we're gonna bring in Carla. Yeah, give her, please. We're gonna bring in Carla.
Greetings.
Hi, Carla.
Hey, Carlene.
Yeah, the panel is a little emotional right now because, you know, we actually relived what my sister Pinky went through. After thinking to ourselves that she was going to be getting better, and only for in November for them to tell her it's worse, and she must just go home and call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
How do you tell, what do we do as family and friends for who don't know? I know, but for who don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question.
As the caregiver to people who are terminally ill or just ill overall.
Yeah, I think the first thing to do as family and friends is to get through the initial shock of the diagnosis, and especially the idea that the person might not be getting better. There's a way that as humans we're very oriented to try to fix problems, but what chronic illness and terminal illness does is it takes away our option to do that. So now I have to figure out how to live alongside this thing. So deal with the initial shock, like go through the steps that you have to go through, and then kind of get to know the disease, get to know the condition that you're dealing with. Be very honest with yourself about what to expect, and in as much as you can, communicate with each other honestly. As a family member and a caregiver, it's very easy for you to start to see the sick person as just this patient, just this person that you're taking care of, instead of this full human, instead of your wife and your auntie and your sister and your husband and your nephew, all of that. And so it's very important to remember the person that they are and not just the illness that they are dealing with.
Right.
Because that can dehumanize them. And also, if we're looking at a situation where we may not have as long with the person as we originally hoped, it's very important that you make the best use of the time that you possibly can. This is an opportunity for you to become very clear on what you want to do with this relationship. Some of the something them, when you did that hold on to, you have to go let it go now, because it's not a priority. It's not important.
True.
It's not important. So what are the memories that you want to make? What are the experiences that you want to have, that you can have? What is the vibe that you want between you and this person? And then act with intention to have that. It's very important to create a space where you can have uncomfortable and difficult conversations with each other, where I, as a patient, can look at you and say, I don't feel as though you're actually giving me the type of support I need, or I feel as though you have taken away my femininity and I'm not a woman to you anymore. I'm just somebody for you to care for. And it's just as important for the caregiver to be able to say, I feel like I'm giving all I can and it's not changing anything, and that makes me feel frustrated and hopeless, and I don't know what to do with that emotion, instead of letting it fester, because it's the perfect condition for resentment.
Okay. All right. We're going to throw to a voice note.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Pinky and Abigail, thank you for sharing your stories and creating awareness around your specific diseases. I know that in sharing, you're creating awareness that will save lives.
Sure.
I'm sending you best wishes, love, and light, and may God continue to bless and keep you. From Nicola.
Okay. Carla?
Yeah, still here.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you so very much for those warm words. And part of us doing this show, Daniela and I and the whole team, is to, every time we do something, is hoping we're helping somebody understand, hoping it will reach somebody who doesn't know this cannot or can go this way. It's always good to have somebody who has gone through. So I'm always trying to get people who have had the experience. Carla, why do people go through not wanting to have sex? Let's put it in Pinky's case, and other cases. Why is this?
It can be for different reasons. People cannot want to have sex because something about the progression of the illness or the treatment can make sex painful for them.
Right.
People cannot want to have sex because they're not feeling attractive changes to their body. So let's say you're talking about somebody who had to have a mastectomy, somebody who is going through chemo, so maybe they're losing their hair, somebody who maybe they're having a medication that's causing them to put on a lot of weight or lose a lot of weight. The changes to the body can cause a person to feel unattractive. Being ill can cause people to feel worthless. Like, my body has failed me. Why is my body unable to function in the ways that I want to? So there's that. Sometimes when people are dealing with an illness, feeling sex it's not a priority in this moment. For some people it is, for some people it's not, right? And also, when you get into that role of the patient or the person who's being cared for, and your partner is now in the role of caregiver, sometimes those lines can get very blurry, and you can feel like that sexual part of yourself is not active anymore. It's like it's gone underground.
How can we help them to change that? Is there anything we can do to change that?
Yeah. one of the things is to actually have the conversation, facilitate the conversation. So what you find is that people who are living with terminal illnesses, the issue of sex, sometimes they'll feel wary bringing it up with like their doctors and stuff, but they'll say it in a way that's like joking. And sometimes that will be the opportunity for us to have the conversation, but we don't clock it. So make it a priority to discuss that, not just are you having any pain? How are your symptoms of your illness? How are you emotionally? How are the connections in your life? Also, is there something we can do to make sex more enjoyable or pleasurable for you? Is there maybe some lubrication that could help you with dryness and that could reduce some of the pain? Is it that you're not feeling sexy and we maybe need to figure out getting you like some clothes that fit your new body, getting you like some makeup, some wigs, etc., to make you feel sexy and confident so that you want to engage?
Like in Pinky's case where she says the chemo she started the chemo, burnout, whatever, she just has no sex drive.
Yeah. And for some people, they won't. And that's the other thing, is like accepting your new normal. One thing is to ask your doctor, is there anything that can be done to give me back my sex drive? The other thing is, are there other people who have gone through the illness as well? Because somebody who has gone through the illness will know it in a way that a doctor does not.
True.
So is there a support group that you can find either in person or online to talk to them about that? If it's a priority, then it might be worth it to do a little bit of research to support yourself if that's something that you still want for yourself. And be gentle with yourself, because your body is literally going through a lot. And how you feel is your body being very honest with you about where it is right now. So it's also about taking a gentle approach with yourself while you move back to this stage where sex is something that you want to be involved in and you can enjoy.
And sometimes with like everything else, time heal wounds. You know, sometimes give yourself the time, because you will be back to being yourself. So, you know, probably as it's not a rush. Don't rush into anything because somebody wants you to do it, or even if it's a partner rushing you. Do it at your pace, when you're comfortable, when you know.
When you feel like.
Yeah, when you know. I mean, in her case, hers definitely, she's in a relationship. So she goes at her pace based on her other half understands, knowing the danger of that. And with her case, Pinky's case, she has somebody who is willing to wait till when she feels like. So, you know, support them, please.
Yeah. And it's like, how can we build other forms of intimacy into the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Because even outside of a person who is living with that illness, when somebody is taking time to spend time with you, they're giving you little gifts, they're telling you that you're beautiful, those types of things will make you feel more attractive in yourself and make you desire them more. So that's also important in this situation. Like, what are the ways that you as a couple are just connecting with each other, to be intimate with each other?
Right. Is it wrong if a partner wants to leave during this time? Just asking the question for the, I think,
it's difficult to say whether it's wrong or right. I think I'll answer the question this way. If a person recognizes that they cannot offer care to you, it's better that they leave than to stay and treat you badly.
Right.
You know? So that's the place where I come down to it, because that's something that's very emotional for me as a question, because I'm like, I wouldn't want to go through an experience where I'm ill and somebody up and leave me.
True.
But if I think about it, I'm like, what is the other option? They don't want to be there. They stay there, and every day their treatment, the way that they treat me, shows me that they don't want to be there. No, I wouldn't want to have to go through that, especially when I'm vulnerable. Especially when I'm vulnerable and I need you to help me get through the day. So is it wrong or right? I can't say whether it's wrong or right. I'll say it's something that happens, and it's something that we have to be willing to face. My ideal is that if we're locked in, we're locked in. And if we're going through this, we are going through this. And if it was you, then I would try to be there for you. And if it's me, I want you to be there for me. But I also know that people have different capabilities, right? Like men tend to be problem solving oriented. So when women become ill and it's an illness that's going to last for a long time, the emotional part of caregiving and the things like cleaning the house and stuff like that, men are less likely to do that. They're less likely to think of that as something they need to do as a part of the caregiving. When women get sick, they're also more likely to leave when women get sick. Women are more likely to stick around when men get sick, and women will be sick and still be doing the bulk of the household work as long as somebody can do it, because they still understand that that's a part of their thing. So like people are built differently and socialized differently, and we have to, it's like anything else in life, you have to show up to the person that you have.
And it's also recommended that people try to do the things they're accustomed to doing.
Yeah. Try to maintain some type of stability, but where necessary, figure out what's the new normal for you. Like when you have to let go of your old routine and find a new routine, find the new routine together. It's like the person is still alive. And that's the thing I feel that sometimes we forget. Even though a person is ill, they're still here. You still have time with them. They are still living and making memories. So do that with them. Live your life with them. That is the point of this moment that you have. And sometimes we get so caught up in the fear and the worrying what is going to happen next month and what is going to happen next year that we lose the time because we're so busy fretting that we forget to live with the person.
Yeah, but Carla, even so, but there's times when if I am sick, this is just my opinion. If I am sick and who I am with decides they can't deal with it, that can deteriorate me more in the situation I'm in, because at the end of the day, if I'm going through something, I need that emotional support. When you get emotional support, you tend to feel like you're living more, you're excelling more. You can do it more with that person there, the person that you love. You want them to be with you. So I understand you saying it's best they leave if something is wrong, but how do you?
No, she's saying if they're there and treating you badly.
Yeah, I heard that part, but I'm saying the person, like me being sick, and the person I love decides that he can't do it with me, that would hurt me more and make me get worse. You know, you're stressing about the illness and you're also stressing about your partner leaving you. So that's a double dose. You go down faster to me. That's what would happen to me.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I agree with you. And that's why I say that it's something that's very emotional for me. And it's a difficult conversation for me even to have, to look at it and say, on the basic part, if you cannot manage, it's better you stay than leave than stay and abuse me, because I know what it would feel like. Like I can imagine what it would feel like. I've had situations where I've been sick and my partner has just been like, see ya. So, it wasn't a terminal illness, but I've had that experience of being in a place where many of us go through it. And this somebody was just like, deuces. Right?
And research actually shows that people with partners recover faster than without.
Yeah, when you're inside of a network of care and you have somebody who feel like they are there with you, tooth and nail, to want to go through it together, that is a much better form. It increases your quality of life. It increases your feeling of hope. It increases, it gives something to look forward to. Yeah. All of those types of things. So that's the ideal.
Well, Abigail can tell us about that part because she's with somebody who's there with her for 6 years.
Yeah. So my current partner, we've been together for 6 years, and through the 6-year relationship, he has had to, he went through about 3 surgeries with me. Yeah. And I can tell you, his presence meant a lot, because while I was in the hospital, he's there every visiting hours. Throughout the whole day, he cooks my food, brings me food because I don't eat hospital food, bring me fresh clothes, and bring home my dirty clothes to wash them, and bring me fresh fresh sheets and all of that. Even when I'm out of the hospital, he takes care of me. He helps me to bathe. He feeds me. If I'm having discomfort in the night, he'll stay up with me when I can't sleep. So having that emotional support from a partner, it plays a huge role in recovery and in coping with any illness at all. Yeah. If I was to go through it alone, it would have been much harder, much harder.
As you do have family members that does it, but it's still not the same because Pinky has that support from her friends and family, but it's still, as you saying, that tender. I mean, we're not gonna kiss her in a certain way where he could see your pain and decide, okay, I'm gonna kiss you, kiss where the scar is. As family and friends, we're not gonna do that. So the limits, I mean, giving her the clothes and the fresh linen and everything, that's covered. The food and, making her smile. But then that last moment that you have over her, she chose to not be in that because she didn't like the way she.
I never like how I look, so I just feel like stay away.
So now that you're looking better, you think you'll think about it?
Not at
yet.
all.
Not yet. She's not ready. She's not ready based on, she's still doing treatment, guys. She's still going through it. It doesn't stop here. She does have stage 4 cancer. And I mean, telling you that it stops here is only lying to ourselves. But we know she's going to get better. And with the help, of, but we're going to take a break and I'll be. Oh, Carla, you have any final note to tell us?
Yeah, the final note that I'd love to leave with is kind of what you just said. We're honest with ourselves about what the journey looks like, and we're also people who believe, and so as much as we can believe that better is possible, then we're going to believe it. And I recommend that for anybody who is going through anything right now. And sometimes it's hard to hold on to that, and that's why it's important to have a community of people around you who love you and who are looking out for you. I can't stress that enough. Don't try to go through it alone. Like, wherever you can find community, reach out for it because the support is going to help you. But at the very least, in your heart, believe that something is possible for you. And also to everybody that's on the panel, I send love and healing to you, and I'm really glad that y'all are here with us, and I hope that you heal and we get to have you for a lot more time.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Carla, for calling. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay. Welcome back to Sex on the Bridge. And yes, in studio with me, I have Pinky, my sister, stage 4 survivor, cancer survivor. I have Abigail, heart disease survivor for over 10 years, and support team, Keisha this, Keisha that, Kitawara, whatnot. Right? I want to thank Carla. Carla, thank you. Yes, my resident advisor. Yeah, gender specialist, Carla. Thank you. Carla Moore, thank you for always, coming in to prepare up. All right. You were saying, Keisha, support system. Is that very important?
Very, super, super important. Nobody wants to go through nothing alone. You think about it and then you're scared to tell people because of their reaction. And I know that was one of Pinky's big issue, not to let anybody worry. How Pinky, even when she go through things, she worry about everybody else. She don't want to be the one people worry about. So, but at the same breath, it's nice to know when you can't sleep at 3 o'clock. In the morning, she can take out the phone and say, Keisha, you up? I say, yeah, man. I want to see if I kill me, I go up because she's calling and I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? So support system is a must in whatever it is that you're going through, whether physical or mental. Support system is a must. You have to have. Once you have that, it gives you hope. Some people, everybody is going to say the right things, but when the right things do come out, it make a world of difference.
And what does the support system face?
Oh Lord, the support system face suppression more than anything, 'cause you have to suppress that emotion. The support system faces the fact that not wanting to lose the person that you're supporting, not wanting to be accepting of a lot of things, like this is the reality of what's going on, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it.
Right,
You know,
this
so
pinky support system sick.
yeah. 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 We are a crazy bunch of women.
One
and
bunch of mad women will take on the
mad
sickness
needs
more
it,
than her.
and it's a case where we will be there bawling.
And she's
Because
cracking up.
even at the fundraiser last Tuesday, our birthday, it was a say we cry, we laugh, we dance, we cry, we laugh. That was the mode. It's up, it's down. It was in and out, and then you'll be there. She will start crying, and the whole room start crying, and it's just bust out a joke, and you have to laugh, and then 2 minutes later you go back to that. So it's an emotional roller coaster, very emotional, but we're there for her. We're gonna ride till the wheels them pop off. We have fight to the very end. We're not stop. It's a lot, but we're doing it. We're doing it.
And Abigail?
For me, my support system, they are very overprotective. Very overprotective.
Yes, we tend to do that.
and them fretty bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the little sister to
Yeah.
her, but I'm acting like the big one.
Yep.
Don't eat this. All right, did you sit down?
That's my support system. So I got the go ahead to work out from a doctor, but I have to watch my heart rate while I'm working
Yeah.
out, and I have to take longer rest. So if I post a video of me lifting a 20-pound dumbbell, you see them message me, voice note me, why you lift so heavy? Mind your heart, this, that. I'm like, I'm fine. Like, no worry about it. I'm fine. Even when I contracted COVID, Lord of mercy, my phone was blowing up. Everybody a fret, how your heart, like every day when people check in. If once something is wrong and I mention it, then everybody start fret, and sometimes I have to reassure them that I'm fine. Hey, don't worry, don't overthink it. I'm fine. My doctor said I'll overcome this phase of it, so there's no worry. I'm good.
It's
Yeah.
easier said than done.
True.
Especially when you're looking in. So here it is, my sister who's always been active. I'm who I am today because of her.
Yep.
So
We
it's
all are.
hard to just get up and say, this change is gonna be. No, it's me trying to cope with it in my own way and the reality way.
Yeah.
And so I knew what I saw. I knew what she went through. And so when I see her trying to be herself, it's scary. Because I'm wondering, okay, if she's going to drop down, which she has collapsed before, not to rush to the hospital, is there going to be unnecessary bleeding because she was sweeping the floor too long or she was cooking too long? Because she hadn't done these things in a while and she's now coming back to herself. And part of being herself is to continue doing what she's accustomed to doing. But on our end, it's like, is this too much? Should I allow her? It's not my choice to only do. It's my duty to also protect her.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we don't have cancer, literally. We don't have a heart defect. So it's easier for me to say, oh, I know what she's going through. I know to this point. At the end of the day, she knows what she's going through. So she knows how she's going to try to fight to get to that next level, but also not letting us down. Because sometimes, being sick, you feel like you've let us down. No, you have not. You have not. Being here each morning when I see her wake up, my day make.
Yeah, man.
Because that's my biggest fear.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
my God, is today the day?
Yeah.
Mark you, I could probably die way before her.
True.
But it's the fact that I'm so right now healthy and it's okay in my appearance. It makes me okay. The fact she has stage 4 cancer and is going through the changes, it makes her not okay to me.
Yeah.
So the fret is like when she's not with me and my phone ring, I'm afraid for just look. I said, Jesus Christ, please don't
Yeah,
make
worse
no.
when I call you and it's not her.
I said, Lorraine call. I said, my sister Corona, if Janet ever call me. It's like, Jesus Christ, what is happening? So you're at edge. They're not the only one, as Keisha said earlier. We all have cancer. Because she don't have a normal support system. She have a ride and die support system. My sister Lorraine, Corona, Janet, Suzette, Paulette, Kerry, and myself. Then you have the close friends. She have a few, don't want to miss anybody's name, but it's not she doing it, it's me. She have Keisha, she have Carol in England. She have Carol in New York, Spider in England. She have Lena, Michelle.
Sprat,
She have a few people who is there
lot
where
of them.
every minute they call, what's happening?
Shelly,
Why we're not
everybody,
getting her?
Mitzi, everybody.
It's not easy. It's like when the phone start ringing, you're like, Jesus, we're at edge. She don't even know how much we're at edge, because then, as Keisha said, we have to pretend. We have to know, acting like all is well. She turn our back, some cold balling, because from my family, she's the life of my family.
Yep.
She's the life of, if everything, there'd be a funeral and she's making us laugh.
Yeah.
You understand? So she's not just another member in my family. She is the life of my family. So everything changes when that change happens. When you have the centerfold, she's not the backbone of the family. She's the life of the family. It makes a big difference. She'll be the one who calls me or Lorraine or Corona or Janet, me not handle this, She makes a joke out of it. And we forgot that we were in a serious situation. So it's the fact, everybody, where's Pinky? Where's Pinky? Where's Pinky? You don't have to ask where's Pinky. You'll know she's there.
When she
So
come in our room,
it's not the person you're gonna miss out and say, okay, she is the life of my family. So the key is like you have a lock and you can't find the key.
she had a key.
She's the key.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it's one thing to say something, but it's another thing to live it and then have to do it. So people don't understand how deep things go when they see, oh, boy, them can Bali. Yes.
They don't get it.
Because
They don't
where
get
we
it.
are now, we're crying happy tears.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 months ago, she almost wouldn't have been here. And we decide, with her friends and, of course, all my sisters, that, no, we're going to fight for this. I took it up on my head to say, no, I have a voice. I'm in media. Let's see what can do. I firstly want to big up Sizzler Kalanchi, Mecca Nightclub, Mr. Michael Dawson, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Lena British. This is not, it's not a everybody.
Yeah.
This is just persons who, when I reached out to them
Use a
to do,
platform,
because I don't want to thank some people and don't thank some. So it's not about thanking anybody. This is when I reached out to these persons and said, listen, I want to do this for her, because her treatment that she's on now is extremely expensive. And she's not working. She hasn't worked from 2020. So, don't care how much money you have. It's gonna go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
medical,
Right?
they'll take those
Exactly.
money
Medical
away
expenses, whoop it out.
Yep.
And it's not like she have no big rich family. Yes, we're close, so everybody chip in. But if it's continuing, and each time you get to a better level, it's more money.
Yep.
So when I reach out to people to say, Stone Love, we perform Stone Love, and say, listen, I want to do a fundraiser. It didn't go as planned, because people, I don't think Jamaicans understand the level of fundraising, right? But when they came and I saw people who I hadn't seen in 30 years, she hadn't seen in 30 years, it was just like, all right, just let's have a family affair. And the party she had and the time she had in that party was priceless. I couldn't pay for what she felt and how happy she was. So I just want to say to people who are out there, please stop judging anybody. We reach out to help because that's what we should do as human beings.
Exactly.
And you can go to my page, Dancehall Queen Carlene on Instagram. We do have, and click my link in my bio.
It's pinned.
Right? Real Helping Hand. I want to say thank you to the Real Helping Hand for reaching out to me to assist me in how we can raise this money to help my sister continue her treatment. So you can go to my page in my bio, click the link, and you'll see how you can donate to Pinky's cancer treatment. Because it's Dancehall Queen Carlene on Instagram, and click the link, and you'll see the real helping hand, and you'll see what it says, and you go to where the little money part is, and then you put the money in, then it will open up.
Today's post is also pinned on the page.
Yes.
So they can go on that and click on that as well and donate.
And I'm going to start reaching out to other persons who I know can help me to promote this. Now, Abigail, I don't know how you're doing this and what is your method, but please tell them.
For me, firstly, when whoever came up with the phrase that said your health is your wealth, they did not lie. They didn't lie. Once you're healthy, when you're healthy, you can do anything and everything, and you have it all. You're rich once you have good health. You see, once you're sick, it breaks you in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, not to mention financially. I spend a lot of money on surgeries. Also, I have to do heart tests very often. I live on medication. So it takes a lot. And it's not just my heart condition is the center of my life. I have other health conditions that I have to unconsciously neglect because of my heart condition. So, for example, I have scoliosis. I should be doing physiotherapy for that. And I can't focus too much on that because I have to focus on my heart condition. Then I have other issues with my head that I can't address because to do an MRI on my head would affect the battery in my heart. So I can't do an MRI on my head. So I just have to live with these cluster headaches for the rest of my life, right? And I'm talking about headaches that last up to 33 days. Straight headache. So I have to, it costs a lot in every single way. In 4 years, I'll have to find $30,000 for a new battery. I don't see the first cent yet. Because first of all, I have bills. I have rent, light, water, internet, all of that jazz. Also, I'm neck deep in student loan debt, So if I didn't have my health to focus on, then I could spend my money on other things, but my health comes first and I don't want to die. So some things just have to get put on a back burner a bit. It's hard, but I get support from my partner and my friends and my family. Co-workers, yeah.
Or
yeah,
employers?
when I used to work where I have coworkers like that, and I always have supportive bosses, so that's a plus. Who actually, if I need time off from work to just rest or to do my medical business, then they understand. So I've been blessed with that, and I'm grateful for that. So my support comes from friends, family, coworkers, and my partner.
All right, so tell me about your foundation and how people can find you.
All right, so my foundation is the I Have a Heart Foundation. I started it to raise awareness for heart disease in Jamaica because heart disease is the leading cause of death in Jamaica, and a lot of people don't know that. And I started it also to help other people with heart disease because, as I said, heart disease kills a lot of people, and a lot of heart disease deaths are preventable. So I started my foundation to do that. To date, I've done countless blood drives to collect blood to help replenish the blood bank's general supply. I partnered with an overseas organization, the OID out of New York, and to date, we have assisted 33 people with free heart surgeries. My next goal is to start doing fundraising to raise funds to help people with heart disease. If I can even help 10 people with $10,000, that's $10,000 less for somebody who can't afford it to worry about. So that's what I do. And my foundation, the handle is IHAH Foundation on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
So as somebody wanted to know, what age did your mom die?
My mom was 39 when she died, and I was 9 going to 10. Yeah, and now that I am 30, I see how 39 really is young. 39 is really young. And know that the closer I get to 39, the more I kind of worry, but the more I'm determined to fight. My mom died at 39, and I'm on a mission to live to 99. Maybe 109
That's
if me feel spicy.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. And of course, in everything, the will to live will make you live.
That's true.
Because I know that's why she's here.
Yep.
Her will to survive, her will to live and to fight what she's going through is really why she's sitting here. So I know if you keep that spirit, you, as you said, 109, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is that what I tell myself to get through my bad days, I know everybody has their issues, everybody has their burdens and their struggles, but at the same time, some heavier than some. And I always try to remind myself that there's somebody out there going through worse than me who wish they could trade places with me.
Truly.
And like, no, being here beside Pinky, she's fighting a battle that's way harder and heavier than mine. And it has reminded me to be grateful for my burden. It's heavy, but Pinky carrying something heavier. And
everybody.
yeah, it's heavy. And when I look at her and I think of her journey and all that she said and seeing all that she has been through and everything that she's going through, she has inspired me to fight even harder. And to hold on to that little mustard seed of faith, you know?
Makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
The will to survive always make you survive.
That's true.
And with support, I can't stress this enough.
Yep.
Because I've seen where I've been people support that has gone through things that had nobody and made me could almost feel like I was above who I was because I came to visit somebody in the hospital that had nobody to visit them. And that was a big deal. I remember it's 03, I think. I met a girl in University Hospital just because of who I am. And it so happened Pinky ended up to know her dad, didn't really know her. And I went to that girl's hospital every single day for 9 months. And I had to go away. And I left her for 3 days and she died.
Wow.
And the doctor told me it was her looking for me every day. This wasn't my family member. This wasn't somebody I knew. It's just the person I am.
Yeah, she had something to look forward to.
They gave her 3 days and she did 9 months. 9 months.
Wow.
And I left. I had to go away. And when I came back, she actually dreamed me and the morning I said, you know that she telling me thank you, and she told me some stuff in the dream. And I said, it felt so real. But she said bye and she went off. And the morning the hospital called me to say I should come there.
Wow.
And when I went there, and I said, what time did she die? I woke up like it was 5:15 a.m. And they said like they would say 5:15 a.m.
Wow.
And this was somebody I really didn't know, or got to know. And again, called her and she said, she couldn't be here. And she said, help her. Be there for her. And I was.
Yeah, it's the smallest things that makes the biggest difference in somebody else's life.
Trust me. And so sometimes when you hear people, are down or out, don't think it's a joke or take it for granted that, them can do better or them have somebody.
Yeah.
You never know who has somebody.
Yeah.
Just, as I always say, be kind and respectful.
Yeah.
Because we're human beings, and things happen. I see, like, the internet is a great thing and a disgusting thing.
Yeah.
I see people glorify people being hurt. For the young lady from the university, I don't really know the story, but I read some of the comments.
Disgusting.
And there is no right, for whatever reason you want to say, this young man should have burnt her. And there was people making it as if it's right. Oh, she shouldn't go. What? She's the one burnt, scarred for life.
Victim blaming.
And I'm like, what kind of person? If you don't have nothing good to say, come
Leave
off
it
the net, go
alone.
to your
Yeah.
bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What advice would you give anybody who's going through, especially cancer in your case?
All I have to say, all who have cancer, just pray, have faith, and just just be happy and give God thanks and pray.
You, Carrie?
Wow. She's making me emotional. Um, what I'd have to say, I can second what Pinky just said. Having faith, it goes a long way. Have faith. You have to pray. If you believe in God, pray. You have to believe also that you will make it through whatever it is that you're going through. Always find something to be grateful for, and remember that there are others out there who are going through way worse than you. And in some cases, things that we go through are tests, and these tests come to make us bitter or better, and they come to make us a victim or a victor. And it's up to us to decide if we're going to come out of this situation a victim or a victor. And we just have to stay fighting every day. If you want to live, find the will to live and just fight. Yeah.
Keisha.
When people going through stuff and they do fundraisers and they ask for financial help, not because they have a big name or they're associated with people with names, don't ridicule. Don't say, oh, them are beg and them have money. How them are seek help. Listen, if you're going to help us to fight, help us to fight. If you're going to help us for her to stay alive and Abigail to stay alive, help. If you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing. You don't know what people are going to stop. Don't be mean. Because that one bad thing that you say could tear the person, could break them down, could cost them life. So take up the phone, go on the app, the both apps, both sites, whatever, donate. Instead of talk, I owe them a beg. Punch the number sign and put in a $20, put in a $50, whatever it is. Do that. Because that $20 or $50 can make a difference instead of tearing and hurting. We're going through a fight. We're fighting. We're not giving up. And they both going to make it. We'll just help and not hurt.
Sometimes we misunderstand people. Abigail has a platform in which she makes the impossible possible. She makes the difficult look not so difficult. But if you read between what she's doing, she's trying to help somebody else. My sister is not here for any pity or any sympathy. She's here to make people understand that this is real, sickness is real, pain is real, hurt is real, and support is real. You try to let people see the pain you're going through, to understand that it's not easy. You get up every day not knowing, nobody knows what tomorrow brings.
Exactly.
But when you're ill, you have a bigger fear. It's that a car could hit somebody down who was very healthy, had no complaint, and they die. That's okay, because we weren't looking for that. We weren't expecting that. But when you're sick, it gives you a window of not being safe. We're at the end of the show, and I do want to thank some people. As again, Real Helping Hand, you can go to my page, Dancehall Queen Carlene, click the link, and you'll see the how to donate. Want to thank Sizzla Kalanchi, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Lena British, Stone Love, Weepo, Mecca Nightclub. These are for the persons who came forth and say, here, let us do this. All right. There's a lot of people to thank, and I didn't want her start doing that and we'll miss one person. That's important, just as important. I know how this can be. I want to thank the Bridge 99. I want to thank TVJ. I want to thank the Star, the Observer. They help IRI FM. They help us to promote the event, and there will be a lot more. So intense. Just those on that level. I want to thank all her friends, all my family. Go ahead, just thank everyone.
Thank Janet, Corona, Lorraine, all of them. Some of the
Yeah,
sisters
don't call
I
any
can't
names,
call
right?
them
Just say
names.
thanks to
All
everybody.
of them. I thank everybody. And all of the people that wish me well. Thank them very much. And who pray for me, thank them very
Yeah.
much.
So I want to thank everybody on Instagram who has reached out to me on all the media ends, and send prayers for my sister, send just a big up, a thank you, just everything. Share Luxury Doll for a beautiful hairstyle. Yes, just want to thank everybody who has played a part in her life and continue to play a part. I want to big up my badass, producer Danielia Doyle. I got it. And of course, little Tristan Parma, my new engineer. I don't know. You see, I can't bother. My other engineer just didn't even give me a divorce send off. I just come and I get a new man. This is how life is, you know.
Valentine's Day.
I mean, happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine. Well, it's now 12 o'clock, so it's ended. So,
Thank
guys,
God.
as always, be respectful. Love you all, and I see you next week. Sex on the Bridge.